How many stories could I tell about Michael and Gussie and Packy and the groupies? But just in their memory, I'll play a little slow here first. I can't really remember the first time that I met Michael, but we used to go to Doolin, of course, and Doolin and all the places when we were our 20s, and I got a car. My brothers, India, Brendan and Kieran, God bless Brendan, we used to go with. Doolin, of course, was a magical place that time, and the Ritz and Andy Connolly's, Andy Griffin's, I should say, the Kincora. But I think that might be the first time that I met Michael. But I do know that I used to go there a lot after that, and there was a lot of musicians there. Sonny Mullins, of course, owned it at that time, and Andy Griffin owned it after that. But it was a great house for dancing and a great house for cracking. There was a Tommy Skillan and Micho Russell and Sonny himself, and John Joe Ford was playing it, and J.J. Conway, the Clancy's, John and Jimmy, sure I could be naming them out. There was a John DeLaughlin, and I'm sure the Heinz's, Michael and Seamus, and I think the Roadside Tavern would be their house. And sure I'm leaving people out now, but anyway, we were in the Kincora this night, and it was whitish, and someone said that Doolin was a great place to go, and there was great crack in Doolin. And anyway, we decided we'd go, and I was the pilot, of course. But Michael was there, and Michael came out, and he heard that we were going to Doolin, and it was a way for him to get back home. And he said, would there be any chance we'd bring him? I said, certainly, of course. We went anyway. When we went to Doolin, the place was on fire. It was Gussie O'Connor and his wife Dolly that owned it at that time. And in we went anyway, and Michael, it was a concertized play at that time, only the banjo after that, but anyway, Michael sat down and started playing, and I played away with him for a while, But there was Michael's brother, Gussie, which I never met till then, and Packy was playing the concertina, and Gussie was playing the concert flute. And there was two brothers, the Kilokris, John and Paddy. There was a heavy bloke, he was Rory O'Connor. Now, Michael Caylor could be there. It's a long time back, but I do know that a lot of musicians used to come there, and I remember it could be that night or one of the nights someone asked Michael to sing a song, and I'll never forget it. I thought it was hilarious about the barber and the lad that hadn't to shave for this many the long day. But Michael started, and of course Michael, when he sang, he rolled his R's, but it was his way of singing, like his accent and all that. But anyway, the story told about this barber, and it said that he could coax people in off the street. He told this poor people that wanted this bloke that hadn't to shave, sit down in that chair, sit down and I'll soon have your long hairy beard to a hair. And there was another bit of the song, the lad, he was shaving him with a rusty old razor. The barber began, and he started shaving him, and anyway, the old man, he was cutting the face out of him, and he, leave off you bastone, leave off, or by God, my jaw you will roll. So it was a priceless, but it was the way, of course, that Michael sang it. He sang a lot of songs, and his brother Packy played the concertina, and Gussie, they were fine musicians, and of course the two Kilokris, flute and fiddle, and Rory O'Connor played flute. Now there were other musicians there, but them five kind of stood out. They were shyish men, and quiteish, soft-spoken, lovely mannered, and the remarkable thing about it that there was a crowd all around. They were taking their drinks, it would smoke that time, and there was a big fire down. But when the music started, they talked away, but the music started with the songs, everyone was silent. It was different now, being a pub, singing and playing, maybe normal listening to a few. But it was a magical time, and I was there several times, umpteen times after that, and a lot of other musicians, Brendan and Michael the Mahanies, they were from Milltown. Brendan used to be there, he was from Kerry, Dennis Doolin, Carol McTighe. Several nights it was with Willie Clancy in it, and not with him, but he'd come in, and when the session would be over, it was time for us to get out, and we went down to this James's. It was a few doors down. He was a tall, thinnish man with a cap. Some people bring down their drinks, more bring on drinks, and the music could go on there till anywhere. It was there that I had really heard Willie Clancy playing and got to know him well. So Michael, of course, you could be talking about Michael. Very, very unfortunately, we didn't realise what we had till he was gone, the tragic end to his life. But I have to say one thing, they were the salt of the earth. Michael and Gussie and Packy and the Kilokris and the Willie Clancy's and Joan McCrean and Michael Cahill and all the musicians, Micheline Conlon, and all the different musicians that came there. A lot of them, whatever if you want to tell how I have to say it, it is then I remember their names. But it was a great time, and there's a lot of stories told about Michael, but there's one story there, Paula had it on the Clare radio there. There was a great character up on farther near where the quarry was, Gussie McMahon, and she meet Gussie at the Martin Innes, and his son Jerry promised umpteen times, J.J. Conway and myself were to go to his house, promised several times, and like all the promises I made in this life, they all fell through. But Gussie told a great one to Paula. Paula, everyone knows Paula, Clare FM, friend of everyone's, but this farmer was driving these cows along the road this night, or this morning, 5:30, and Michael was coming along on the bike. Mike was sitting with you, shoving the cows, he was in a hurry. The farmer said, I'm in a hurry too, he said. I have to have the cows milked, he said, and milk got to the creamery, and calves fed and the tea drank. And he said, we're going out here, we're not hay down. And he turned over to Micho. He said, anyways, Micho says, what's your hurry? God says, Micho, I have to be home before 6 o'clock, before my mother is up. But you see, we can look at that in two ways. The farmer's work was very, very essential and had to be done. But so was Micho's work. Micho had no reward for what he was doing. The farmer was going to be paid for the milk. But poor Micho played all night till 5 in the morning, and that was only one night. How many is the nights? Somebody might be back from America after 50 years, and they're part of the house. It could be a wedding, and they give their time generously and free. And anytime they all the men that I'm talking about, Willie Clancy and Jonah Crehan and Michael Kerner and all them, the Colutris, and all played that time. There was no money, only you went in, sat down and played, and often till daybreak. So what I have to say is my hat off to him, and God rest him. And again, as I said, they were the salt of the earth, and we've great memories. And I could stay talking about Micho and Packy and Gussie a lot longer, but that's my contribution about them. And they left us a great tradition and a great culture of a time that was gone back in the mist of time, and they kept their music and their language alive, and great credit due, and thanks be to God for knowing him. Now, before I finish, I have to also mention Gussie O'Connor and his wife Dolly. I was a Crishin man, and Gussie's O'Connor's people, they were intermarried to a baker family in Carrowcale and Crishin. So the fact that I went there, I was more than welcome, and anytime I'd come, the girls there, Terry and Sean and Susan, and when Susan had seen me coming, she was a lovely girl. She was only about, I suppose, what would she be, 12, 13, she'd run in and tell her mum and dad, and Gussie would come out with great shake hands, and Dolly, and I was bringing tea times, and my brothers with me for tea, and I'm sure a lot of people as well. So, God rest Gussie and his wife, Dolly, and there were magical times, never to be forgotten. Be great if it could go back for one night in itself, but time or tide waits for no man. And just as I'm passing, I'd like to mention Pat T. Sexton, the man that owns it now, and indeed anyone that goes there, extremely welcome. He is just enlarged now to the bigger place altogether, and he makes everybody very welcome. Every time I come there, comes out and shake hands, and you're welcome days, if you want to come in, you need something. And of course there's flaming great music now there. You have a great flute player, Noel Donoghue, great banjo player, Kevin Griffin, great accordion player, Sean Vaughan, great piper, Michael Blackie O'Connor, great concertina player, Hugh Healy, and sure how many more could I mention, Johnny Conlon, Liam Mulkere, I could be naming them all out, I hope I'm not an end, but anyway that goes, when it opens again, and I go, if they ring me, sure they mightn't want me, if they don't, but now, I'm going to play in memory again, I played this lawyer, and I'm going to play Danny Boy for all the great people, the great musicians, and indeed all the great listeners and great friends that came. So,